And we live. Happy Wednesday and welcome to another Everybody Can't Go Convo. I'm your host, Jessi Holley. And this week we have one of our fan faves back with some exciting new things on the horizon. Y'all know I'm always on 10. Per usual, here I am on another Wednesday on 10, all the way up here on a whole new level. And I can't wait to talk about some of the things that we have planned for you guys this evening. And we are welcoming back Mellissa Thomas, aka my Mel T. Y'all might be able to call her that. I might share the nickname with you. As long as you give me my credits that I coined that one. So welcome,
Exactly.
Mel. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me back, man. It's always a blast to talk to you, so thank you.
Awesome, awesome. And if this is your first time experiencing Mel, OMG, go back, check some of those previous episodes. Let me see, two, three, something like that. It's been a couple of episodes that she's been on. We have the procrastination bully in the building. We have my editor in the building, okay?
Amen. Amen.
So today, we are going to dive into, as I told you guys, I've worked with Mel several times on workshops. She is my procrastination bully, constantly on my head about what I said I was about to do, what I was gonna do, and she makes sure that I do it. Okay,
hmm
and the book included, and making sure that that manuscript got out of my head onto some paper,
Yep.
onto an electronic format and into her hands so that we could get it to the next step. So, I don't know. Should I do the special announcement or should you?
Well, I mean, you on 10, so you jazz it on up. Jazz it on up. Add the sprinkles.
All of the little things, all the things. Okay, so you guys, I have raved, I don't know how many times, about how awesome of an editor Mel was for me and how she helped with editing my manuscript for Everybody Can't Go, the book that became the brand, which is why you're here on the pod. So, without further ado, I am very pleased and also very honored to break this news to you guys and announce that Mel is hosting the Spring Forward Writers Retreat, and that is coming up very soon during first quarter. That is coming up March 13th through the 16th. So I am super excited, and I like to just go ahead and claim it that, since it's starting on 313 on 313 day, shout out to all the
Hey,
Detroit in the building. Okay. That,
hey.
that's not why, but y'all know we gonna claim our day.
That's
Our day is
bonus.
our
That's bonus.
day. So that's a bonus for us. So whether you in Detroit, the DMV, whether you in Florida, wherever you at, I know things looking a little shifty with flights, but trains work and so do cars if you don't want to get hop that flight, okay? But we're looking forward to seeing you guys in Orlando, Florida during those dates from March 13th through the 16th for the Spring Forward Writers Retreat. So, Mel, what inspired you to create the Writers Retreat in the first place?
I'm glad you asked. Uh, it's two of the most awesome people in the world, at least to me, y'all. One, Carl Wesley Phillips, the Bayesian sensation.
Shout
Okay.
out to Carl.
Shout out to Carl. Of course, a fellow ground screw like myself, and he took the dive and wrote his book, Moving Past Potential. Got the journal back there. You know what I'm saying? Um, and Jess and I had the honor and pleasure of supporting Carl at his very first live event, the Moving Past Potential workshop in December of 2023. And like while we were doing inner work, doing all the things with the different sessions during that workshop, Jess was like, "Yeah, so I heard what you say you do, and like, yeah, I'm gonna look forward to hearing you talk about your writers retreat next year." And I was like, "Oh, really?" So I mean, on unfortunately, it didn't happen in 2024, but by the grace of God, it's happening in 2025. Like God gave me the date. It started with the 15th, and when you have coaches in your life, you follow their instructions. And one of the things that as a member of the OU Mastermind, Jess and I like, we hear that on a regular basis. Like tap into your who's. Like it's not always about the how. cut down your time by finding a who that does it better. And since this was an idea that Jess proposed to me, I was like, well, let's make this happen. Let's partner together to make this happen. And we have a couple of other team members that have joined in as well to help coordinate this behind the scenes. But yeah, like this is about to be an event. And in my promos, I've been telling everybody this is going to be a life-changing event. Not only in terms of you, the author, if a book is something you're sitting on, if that's your luxury item, it's life-changing for you because you'll complete it by the end of the retreat, but you will also change the lives of those who read your book once you're done with it. So it's not just a matter of, the great idea of having completed a thing. It's the idea of the domino effect it will have. Your obedience will ripple across thousands of lives when you go through this retreat, because not only are you finishing your book, but we're giving you the next steps that come after that, how to market it properly, how to get on the bestsellers list, how to connect with publishers, the relationships you're going to need as an author. That's in terms of connecting with PR, connecting with publishers, connecting with media outlets to get your word out there, all the things. You're learning that in the course of 4 days, 3 nights. You're getting the full suite. You're getting armed with everything you need from aspiring author to full blown author by the end of the weekend.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I'm excited. And I mean, of course, I'm going to be there because why would I not be in the
Of
building
course.
to support Mel T? So, for any of you guys who do like have a book inside, whether you're afraid to release that or not, she brought up a very good point. Think about all of those people that the ripple effect, that shock wave will affect positively.
Mm-hmm.
I for one, I look, after I heard person after person after person come and talk to me about how they were experiencing difficulties and challenges in their relationships, in their friendships, in
Yep.
their situations at work, as they like started down this path of personal development, as they took on a growth mindset, and as they actually started to do all of the stuff that a bunch of people be talking about what they about to do. And y'all know that I say I ain't listening to you tell me about what you about to do. Nothing. I believe in results. I
That
look at
part.
what I can see. If it's not done yet, that's cute that you about to do it. But once you actually embark on that journey, people start to, oh, there go the thumb. Once you embark on that journey, then people will start to receive you differently, which
Yep.
can result in you also being treated differently. And
Facts.
I, for a long time, held my own story, kept it to myself, didn't talk about it, didn't say anything until it was time for me to step up to the plate and actually share what my experience was, what I learned from that, and stop doing the, oh, well, I'll just talk to people one on one if I just so happen to see them at a conference, if they, if they stand up and speak up and ask their question about how to get through those difficulties and challenges with their friend circle, or I'm don't understand why I'm being treated like such and such and such. I'm trying to become a better me. Far more people are reached with me being obedient, actually writing the book, letting the professionalist of professional editors in the whole world edit that manuscript and actually write the book and put that out into the world and share that information out. So, of course, I'm going to encourage you to do the same. I mean, you never know. You may have a story to tell and a book to write that I'm supposed to be reading.
That
Those
part.
books back there, that is not just for decoration. I read them. And that's just a
Same.
portion of reading. Okay. These are okay, yeah, that's cute. The bedroom on the other side of me, full of books. My mom's house, full of books. My
Facts.
bedroom, also full of books. The living room has books as well. And that is why, as a part of me writing my own vision library, is it may sound outdated, but
Yes.
that is written as a part of my vision, for the vision that I have for what I want my dream home to look like. I want
Facts.
a library so that
Me
all of
too.
these books is all over the crib. can be in one place, and I can have my own little corner with my own little chair,
Yep.
and I will be able to read whatever it is that I want to read, which could be your book. But how can I do that if you don't write it? Now, don't worry about
Mhm.
when I'm get my library, because it's loading, okay? Coming soon.
Mhm.
What I need you guys to worry about is your book being on my shelf. And we have the tools for you, and also the perfect person to pull that out of you. I'm there for the cheerleading, the encouragement. I'm going to help you out and get you ready. But as far as actually getting down to that nitty gritty, doing the how to's, the step by step to how to succinctly get those ideas out of your head and onto the paper in a way that is properly formatted, in a way that is readable, in a way that makes
Mhm.
sense. Because we know everybody got a book, and I done seen some books that's been a mess. I said it, and if you mad at it,
Ma'am.
dog, go holler.
Ma'am.
So
You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell when some folks throw their books together. And here's let me highlight this point. If for those of you who watch and you follow my show, like one thing I always impress upon the audience is you are a hashtag luxury item, and whatever your goal is also a hashtag luxury item. If your luxury item is a book, if that's what you've been saying, treat it as such, please and thanks. Like don't just throw the text together and like upload a PDF and be done with it. No, 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 no. Make sure you hire someone that can format it for you. Or if you're someone that is hardy, you're big on bootstrapping it yourself, go to YouTube University and learn the right way to do it. That way when you do put your stuff out, you have the pride in knowing that you did it yourself, and it does look as professional as anything a professional would have done. Because when people pick up a book and it looks like trash, it won't get read. And then we end up missing the jewel in the message because of the appearance. Like, don't let that be you. Like, God entrusted you with a powerful message through your story, through your life, through the secret sauce that is you. Like, take the time to get that stuff professionally done. Or if you're going to do it yourself, make sure you do it in a way that matches what a professional would have done.
that's for sure. So, as far as this retreat is concerned, what makes it unique or different from any other writing retreats? What makes sure it's different?
Great question. Well, for one, this one is, first of all, in a luxurious location. That's number one. Number two, we're not just focusing on the writing, which that is important. Like we want you to get your content for your book done by the end of the weekend. But we're also, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're giving you the full suite. You're getting pre-work leading up to the retreat. Then we're also building out the content of your book, and then afterward giving you the next steps. Where, because like I said, like you will hear from an author on how to get on those bestsellers lists. Not all retreats teach you how to do that. We're also going to hear from a publisher. Like this brother is like he knows the ins and outs of the publishing industry. He's going to share with you the pitfalls, like things to avoid. He's going to tell you the things that publishers are going to look for should you decide to go the traditional route. If you're feeling froggy, maybe self-publishing isn't for you, maybe you're not a fan of that. He'll be able to teach you both sides of the coin so you can have all of your options when you leave the retreat. And then from my part, you're learning from somebody with 14 years of experience. I've been editing books and, been in that industry for 14 years, and I am an 8-time published author myself. So I know the ins and outs of the industry. You're hearing from other folks that know the ins and outs of the industry. And it's going to be in an intimate setting. So every single question that you have shall be answered. That's the other thing that is going to separate this retreat from any others that you may have experienced. All your questions are going to be answered. And because Jessi is going to be there, like, it's going to be fun. That's the other thing. This retreat this retreat is going to be fun. The other thing that's going to separate this too is that it will be faith based. So if you're following Jess, and for anybody that follows me, like we're not shy about our faith in Jesus. Like it's going to be there and it's going to be present during the retreat as well. And all of our speakers are faith based as well. So you'll be in a safe environment. You'll be able to connect with fellow writers. You'll be able to connect with industry leaders. And you're coming away at the end of the weekend as an official author, not just an aspiring one.
Okay, okay, that's awesome. That's amazing. So, I love that you brought up the aspect of this is faith based, it's Christian based. Now, you guys know me and Jesus, we like these. That is my homie, okay? So when you say that it's faith based, does that mean that people who are outside of the Christian faith are not allowed, or is that just like hey, just to let you know we love Jesus and we gonna talk about him because that's the homie?
Yeah, it's the latter. It's the latter. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about them because that's a homie. So we just letting you know if that's not something you're comfortable with, at least you're aware ahead of time. Okay.
And
Yeah, we're going to be talking about him because that's the homie. We acknowledge him as the source of our inspiration, as the source of our books. You know what I mean? We get the divine downloads from him. So we give glory to him accordingly.
Amen. Amen. All right. And y'all be around here enough to know, y'all know I'm gonna mention Dolores if and when I so please, or we are so
With a
moved.
T.
Yes, so with a T at the end, okay? But I don't want you guys to feel like this is like one of have I ever Bible beat you? No, haven't. This ain't that type of time. Okay. Y'all
Mm-mm.
know I keep it real. And me and Jesus, we be having a glass of wine on a regular. So if that's the kind of like, you need an idea of like, okay, so I don't want any of you guys to shy away or for you to feel like this is that the presence of that portion of the conversation that means that anybody is going to be excluded, that any it's about the book, okay? But it's
It's
not
about the
going
book.
to be void of talking about what the source is and what our source is. And that's not to down anyone else's faith or belief. That's what we own. So,
That's what we on.
hashtag disclaimer. So, while we're speaking of that, who is this retreat designed for, and what kind of transformation can the attendees expect by the end of it? So, we talked a bit about the transformation that we expected, but let's dive a little bit more into that. We're talking about who is designed for and some of the particulars of their personal transformation.
Absolutely. So primarily, this is aimed at Gen X women. I will say I welcome millennial women as well, because hello, the two of us, like we right in there. You know what I mean? And if you're wondering like why only women, no, that kind of shuts us men out. You know what I mean? For one, let me be clear. If you're a dude and your luxury item is a book, please come. Like I'm not turning you away. Neither of us are turning you away. Please come. Just know that there might be a lot of cackling. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of cackling. However, the primary audience is Gen X women because, and these numbers shock me, Jess. So I want to share this with your audience as well. For whatever reason, there is this interesting disconnect that despite the amount of women that have published books, there's still it's still not taken as seriously by the numbers. So let me explain what I mean. So in the US alone, 50.45% of the books published by folks over 40 are published by women. In the US, 52% of books are published by people 40 plus, men or women. Okay. So like women are doing their thing in terms of putting them books out.
Mm.
However, for whatever reason, women's books are priced 45% lower than men's.
Hmm.
Why they make it less? Okay.
Hmm.
And then, just out of curiosity, I wanted to research this on a global level. As of 2021 and 2022, the amount of women in the publishing industry globally is 55%. However, of the women that are in the publishing industry, only 37% of them have books published. Houston, we have a problem. So I wanted to be part of the solution. And that's the transformation that this retreat will offer. Not only is there the transformation of having the accomplishment of having your book done, the ripple effect of the hundreds or thousands of people your book is going to impact, but on a national and potentially global level, we're going to increase the regard for women's books in the publishing industry. Like, women's books need to be taken more seriously, especially since on the Hollywood side, in entertainment, some of the most popular adaptations in web series, like in streaming, they're women's books, women over 40 to be particular.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, not a lot of those series are being directed by women directors either, by the way. So I'm like, yeah, the most effective way to come at this and present the solution is by the numbers. We need to flood the market with more voices of women over 40 and us millennial women as well. We know what we're talking about because we've been through some things. We have learned some lessons. And like we have our tribe that is going to learn from what we have. And for when you're there, just for, to answer your question directly, aside from the statistics, you're not only learning what you need to learn to write your book, we're going to arm you with emotional intelligence and self awareness while you're there. So you're going to come away with a greater sense of who you are and a greater sense of who everyone around you is. You're going to be able to read the room no matter what room you walk into. And you're going to be able to walk in with your chest out. Okay? Okay? With the best cups. You know what I'm saying? Like, walk in with your chest out because you will come away with a greater sense of self awareness and you will be a much more effective communicator. So by the time you need to market your book, you'll have a better way to promote it when that time comes with confidence and conviction so that publishing companies, readers, the media, anyone you're communicating your message to will receive it and take it seriously because we got to get them numbers up. More voices need to be heard. Your story needs to be heard and it needs to be taken seriously. We have lives at stake, especially now as of this recording. There are lives at stake. So yeah, that's a transformation. Greater self-awareness and emotional intelligence. You'll become a much more effective and confident communicator of your message, your story, and your book.
That is awesome. Okay, so I'm like, okay, let me calm down, let me be in the zone because there's just yeah, because there are so many things that are going to be packed into this long weekend of learning, of transformation, of writing and just all of the things that are planned. So, can you walk us through what a typical day at the retreat is? Is a day at the retreat, is it typical? Hmm.
Hmm. I would say no because it is a retreat. However, a day at the retreat will involve the first hour of the day being that time for faith. You know what I mean? That devotional time for those who may not be Christian. If you're someone who perhaps you're Muslim or of another faith, that's okay. You have that 1 hour block first thing in the morning to practice your faith. If you're someone who is not of faith at all, you can use that 1 hour to do whatever you want. You can use it to get an extra hour of sleep. You can use it to exercise. That is what that 4 hour is going to. The next hour, grubbing it up. And by the way, this is the other thing that makes this retreat very special and different. You will have chefs on site. Okay. We are not doing the DoorDash thing. We are not doing the Instacart thing. No, we are having gourmet meals every single day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner with snacks in between. Okay. And by the way, them chefs are not, this is no shade to my American brothers and sisters, but these are Caribbean chefs, Jamaican chefs to be specific. So this grub is going to be fire.
You
Okay.
know what's going down.
It is going down. So following the hour of devotion slash fitness, that next hour is breakfast. The next thing that follows is content, whether that is a workshop or on Saturday in particular. That's when we get into the nitty gritty of building out the content for your book, like the typing or the voice recording, depending on what your favorite style is. But the work, okay? And get into it. And don't worry when we're getting into it that your question won't be answered while you're in the midst of it, because you'll have Jessica and me. Like, we're going to be like floating around, talking, like making sure nobody has any questions during that time. And for anyone that does, we'll bring it down. Like, hey, what about this? I have a question about this. No problem. Here's the answer. So that's the other difference as well. You'll have direct access to Jessica and me the entire time if you have book questions. Like, put that church finger up. You know what I mean? We'll be able to run over and answer your questions while you're in the midst of creating that luxury item
In real time.
in real
And
time.
don't just think, remember, she did mention earlier, we have several special guest speakers that are coming in. I'll leave it to you for the name drops and different things like that, because I was like, oh yeah, I peep. So some of these folks, I would just say dynamic individuals, exclusive, okay? If
Exclusive.
I'm not hashtag luxury item enough for you, please believe there are, I mean, really, I'm just off the top of my head adding up the number of years of experience that will be in the room. We're
A
literally
lot.
talking over 100
Yes.
between, like, look, y'all, I mean, I know our girlish good looks. It seems like we haven't been working for so long, but like really, as I'm adding up the number of years of experience in my head, we are at well over 100 years worth of experience in the room combined
Yes.
for
Correct.
the individuals that will be presenting to you, that will be speaking to you, myself and Mel included. So if that gives you any clue or any inkling, you know, she said she's got 14, 15 years in the game, myself as well. Hey, look, that's only 1/3. So when I say that there's over
Facts.
100 years of combined experience, um, like I'm not gonna cap. Once I got to 100, I stopped counting. I'm like, okay, it's above that. But if
We
she and
good.
I are only accounting for 30 years of that experience that's in the room, I need you to use that as your measuring stick, as your barometer for who you're going to be in the room with. And you never know. Y'all know I'm always plotting right up until the very last minute. So you never know who could pop up. I told y'all never
Mm-hmm.
know who gonna pop up on my pod. So you also never know who will pop up at this retreat. Okay.
That
And
part.
I'm talking about like for real special guests pop up, not the people that schedule when you hit the website, when you hit that link below, so then you can see what's going on at the retreat. All right. So,
Yeah.
let's see. We talked about some of the workshops, the activities, the experiences that will be offered as a part of the retreat weekend. Um, so moving into a little bit deeper with talking about the method for completing manuscripts. So many writers, they struggle with actually finishing their manuscripts.
Yeah.
I Y'all know that when I'm telling you
Church
something,
finger.
it's not just, I'm not just on here talking about y'all, dragging y'all or on y'all head about something. I don't bring the procrastination bully just for y'all. I told you at the beginning, the procrastination bully, she bullies me, if you can believe it.
Yep.
Okay? On my head. So
Yep.
I too am one of those writers that I started and then I pulled back a little bit. I started, worked on it some more, pulled back a little bit. And you know, we had a target date for when the book
Sure did.
was going, the editing, what I was supposed to be finished and turned it in. The procrastination bully said, "Brr." So Jess, I said, insert expletives here. But I was definitely thinking, oh, hey, okay. And so
Yep.
don't feel like that's another thing that if that is your barrier to entry, don't nope, nope, don't even if you already started and you, oh no, I started so long ago, I need to start over, or I'm just gonna do
Mm-mm.
something different. Nope. Bring it on. Bring it with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bring it with you. And I encourage that. I encourage that. There's actually in my invitation, I let folks know, like, whether you've already started on a book or you're starting from absolute scratch, this retreat is for you, and you can still end the weekend with a fully done manuscript. Because as I mentioned, there will be pre-work leading up to the retreat. So by the time you get there, you will have already started working on your book. That way you can finish it during the weekend. So to your question about methods of getting the book done, one of the things I recommend, there's a two-prong method. You heard me talk about people who prefer to write, people who prefer to talk. Now, the cheat code is to talk it out, because we talk a lot faster than we type. Shout out to those of you who can type like hundreds of words a minute or thousands. I don't have them. I don't have them speedy fingers. I'm just saying. But we as human beings speak much more quickly than we type. So you can choose to talk for 10 minutes. We spit out 150 words a minute. So you can talk for 10 minutes a day if you want to. And by the end of 30 days, like, do the math on that. 1,500 words per day for 30 days. The average nonfiction book is 20,000 to 50,000 words. You can get a book done a lot faster than you think. A lot faster. Now, if you're typing, give yourself 90 minutes, because that gives you about the same amount of words versus when you talk it out. So you can carve out 90 minutes a day in your schedule to get a book done. And some people, especially if you're an entrepreneur, like a full-time entrepreneur, you can set up blocks of work time in your schedule to be able to get that done. Even if not daily, you can carve it out once or twice a week where you're just typing. And one of the things I always share with every single person I talk to who wants to be an author is to start with a word web. That's what I call it. The typical word is mind map. That's a typical term. But basically, getting your thoughts organized on a blank page first, starting with your main concepts in the middle of the paper, and then drawing legs out of those, and then writing all the connected thoughts to those main words. Connected stuff. From there, rinse and repeat, put other connected words to that, and then further out, more connected words. Do that until your mind is completely empty of all the ideas you want to express in this book. Once you're able to see it on the page, it comes down to size. The longer it stays in your head, the bigger it becomes. And it seems harder to handle. So that's a huge pain point for a lot of authors. It's like, okay, where do I even start? The word web is where you start. If you're someone who's passionate and has a lot of ideas, do a step even before the word web and write down a list of ideas you'd want to write about. So you might be somebody who would want to write about healing. You might want to write about divorce. You might want to write about relationship advice, what to look out for before you get into a marriage. You might want to write about self-esteem. Like, these are all different categories. These are all different books, potentially. Write all of those out and then prioritize them by asking these 3 questions. Which one of these topics am I most passionate about? Which one of these topics do I get asked the most about? Like, what are the broken record conversations you're having with people? What topic is that? And that third question, which one, and this is from ET, the hip hop preacher, y'all. This is from my coach. Which one will get you to the bag the fastest? Which one will make you the money the quickest? Gauge your different topics by those 3 questions. Screen them through those 3 questions to narrow down the one that you want to focus on first. Then from there, once you pick that, then move over to the word web and start drawing those legs out and the related ideas and go from there. Once you do the word web, you're going to see those ideas in relevant clusters, different words and topics that are connected to each other. That is what's going to become your chapters for your outline. And then the overarching topics will be your sections. So if you're somebody that's writing a nonfiction book, typically the structure for a nonfiction book is 5 sections, 3 chapters each. And again, the word count is 20,000 to 50,000 words.
Okay, that was a good breakdown of how to get from you just got all this stuff in your head to that 20 to 50,000 words. Because when you say 20 to 50, it's like, oh my gosh, that is so much writing. That is so many words. It's just so much. It's so much. But you dropped a lot of gems throughout there. With the we talk 150 words a minute. Now look, I heard from some folks that people from Detroit talk fast. I don't hear
Y'all
it for
do.
real. I don't hear it. But if you telling me 150 words a minute, you really have me thinking. I'm like, dang. So let me talk this and see how many words I be talking a minute, especially if I get excited, because sometimes I can hear myself
Facts.
when I'm like, oh
Facts.
my God. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. And I got to breathe because I can feel myself talking fast as I don't know what. So just thinking about it in terms of you can just speak your book with the
Hmm.
proper layout, with the proper pre-preparation, you would be able to get all of that off your head, get all of that off your chest, and put it together in a succinct way. And so, I mean, if you guys can't tell, I'm geeked for that because I'm
Hmm.
like, look, she said that you can bring a manuscript that you've already started, or you have the option to completely start with the Spring Forward Writers Retreat. I'm gonna tell you guys
Yep.
right now, I got a bunch of ideas. It's a like literally, it's a list of books that
Hmm.
she's already holding me responsible for writing because I said, oh yeah, that's a good, and I've done some pre-work on several books to come. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will actually challenge some of you guys to, when you get in the room, when you get your ticket, drop me a comment and just let me know, hey yo Jess, I'm coming for you. Like, let's have some friendly competition. I'm going to pull one of those ideas and I'm gonna actually start from scratch. I'm gonna start from scratch with those of you who are starting from, like, you just got the idea or you just got the title or whatever. I'm gonna start from scratch with y'all so that I can
Word.
really show y'all how this thing work. Okay. So
Word.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that hashtag challenge out there. Hashtag
Hashtag
challenge Jessi
challenge.
at the Spring Forward Writers Retreat. Let's go, okay? And
You
no,
know what
that
I'm
wasn't
saying?
planned. She didn't even tell me it was okay. I just decided that like right now.
No, I like it. I like it. I like it. And we didn't mention this, just so you're aware. Use the promo code BHM because we are in Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? And I had to say it with the F, month.
Move.
Yeah, use the promo code BHM for 20% off for the month of February. So yeah, y'all get a price slash. So come on down. Come
Okay.
on down.
Y'all
Let's
go
get there.
ahead
Especially now that it's a challenge, like let's go.
and use
I
that
love
promo
friendly
code.
competition.
You
Use that
know,
promo code BHM.
it's all friendly. And yes, use that promo code. Folks out here, I ain't naming no names and stuff. We don't do free promo around here. So, folks trying to take Black History Month or whatnot. No, we in here. It's Black History Month
We
all
in
month.
here.
And we got promos for it, okay? Shoot, knock that
Absolutely.
off. Take it somewhere else. But you can take that 20% off. And I will make sure that that promo code is down in the chat below. I mean, not in the chat, down in the show notes for you guys below so that you can go ahead and use that code. So when we're talking about supporting writers in overcoming roadblocks, so that they're able to make real progress, is that
Mhm.
something that will be addressed during the weekend with different methods, and will we be helping people to like break through?
Absolutely. Like we're going to be discussing that on day one, actually. So yeah, yeah, because the people have, because of how the publishing industry is, there's a certain mysteriousness about it still. There's
Mhm.
still a misconception that writing books are difficult or publishing them is difficult. And the truth is, it's not. So between day one and day four, like Sunday, definitely demystified by that point. Because then we're telling you precisely how to take those next steps once your book is completed. Like what next you're going to do. You're not just coming away like, oh, I have a rough draft. Yay. Now what? You know what I mean? Like, not only are we giving you the next steps, we're also going to give you the opportunity to take those next steps. Like, if you want to go further with me, and further with our team, like you'll have that opportunity as well. And it'll also be addressed in the pre-work leading up to the weekend, Jess, because I know that those questions will always be nipping at your nose and your head until you do it, which is why the procrastination bully's motto is action is the antidote. You learn by doing. Those fears, those misconceptions, that confusion, it decreases with increased action. Okay. So the more that I'm able to demystify for you and walk you through the process, the less annoying those fears are. They begin to shrink and go away because with your increased experience, you're going to be like, oh, this isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, we're going to walk you through overcoming all them roadblocks, all of them. And I'll give you one of them now. I mentioned it earlier, so I'm going to highlight it like in all caps. WHO. Like, quickest way to overcome a roadblock is with a who as a writer. Like tapping into your network and connecting with someone who has published a book before. And you're watching this, you're blessed enough to have two right here. You know what I mean? Between Jess and myself, like we will be able to walk y'all through that. You know what I'm saying? She already has the Write the Vision journal, which is fire. If y'all haven't gotten that, get that, cop that. That's a great way to compartmentalize your ideas as well. Like just in general, not only for your book, but just in general. But you'll have the collective experience of someone who's done it before. Or, as I mentioned on one of my episodes, Jess, I said, even if you're not connected directly to someone who's done it before, they might know someone who has done it before, that second degree connection. And be like, I haven't done it, but here's this person. So that's one very important way to overcome a roadblock for any aspiring author is connecting with your network, connecting with the who.
Okay. Awesome. So y'all know I be connected with the who's everywhere. That's all I do. I'm a flight attendant. What else I'm gonna do other than connect, talk, be happy until I gotta turn the pilot on, get y'all together, reporting for duty and whatnot.
That part.
But that's really good. And I can honestly say like there have been times before where I had that writer's block or like even a work block. And me and my busy bee procrastination style, like it's just so many things. And the procrastination bully has had to pull me out of it's like, hey, I had to call my who. And it's like, okay, so Jess, and it's real very kind, like everybody doesn't need it in a kind way. Sometimes you need a pilot on your head. If you are the pilot, sometimes you need an ATC. You need to submit to ATC getting on your head. And these terms that we're using, pilot, flight attendant, ATC, grounds crew, if you are like, what are they talking about? Go ahead and check me out at the website so that you can get your flight assessment and we can go ahead and get you walked through what those things mean and which one are you. Yeah, that is a shameless plug from a certified extreme execution coach, which is
Amen.
Okay. So
Amen.
and yeah, just in that, make sure that who you're calling the right who, you have somebody in your back pocket. So make sure that you're aware of who you're surrounding your life with and who the right who is, depending on what it is that you need. And a lot of this stuff you don't got to do it by yourself. I know everybody can't go.
You really don't.
When everybody can't go, that's because you're clearing out the spaces for those people who need to be there and who can for those mutually beneficial relationships. Like this one.
Amen.
And
Amen.
you ain't got to be jealous and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, the people I hang around are just so awesome. Thank you. But when I say that, I'm talking about all of you listening too, because you wouldn't be here if you wasn't bomb.com and if you were not a hashtag luxury item, okay? So, let's see. You know that I'm always for all of these ideas, and if y'all can't tell, sometimes Mel be getting a very high dose of me and all of my like, hey, so I got this idea. Here's what we're gonna do. So, before we close out, my last question for you is, what is your vision for the future of the Spring Forward Writers Retreats? And how do you hope that it impacts the writing community long term?
Great two questions. That's fire. Um, so let me start with, in terms of the vision for future retreats, let me just say we won't always be on land. Okay? We won't always be on land. This is the first one, won't be the last. We won't always be on land. Additionally, in terms of that second question, my goal, my luxury item for 2025 is to transform 3,000 Gen X and millennial women from procrastinators into producers. If that is 3,000 books that enter the world, that is fire. Like that is my vision, that is my goal. Because as you guys heard those numbers in the beginning, we need to get more voices out there, more women's voices out there. We need your lessons. We need your voice in the marketplace. We need what you know. The world needs what you know. And as Jess said, like, she has a bookshelf, I have a bookshelf. Your book needs to be on our shelves. Like, we need what you know. So that is my vision by the numbers. 3,000 Gen X and millennial women from procrastinators into producers. Because here's the other thing to note. I didn't mention this earlier, but you can build an entire business around your book. If that's something you haven't explored yet, if you haven't heard it, I need you to hear this. You can build an entire business around your book. And that's what most people do. You'll usually hear the triad of author, speaker, coach. Usually coaches, they might start out as a coach and then they'll go into speaking. But when you're being booked as a speaker, most event coordinators want something tangible, either a curriculum or a book.
Mm-hmm.
So having the book helps facilitate it. It gets you that much closer to getting booked to speak because they know you have something tangible for their attendees. And if you're somebody that's targeting schools, like the education system, they definitely want something tangible because their budget isn't going to be just to pay somebody to talk. They have budgets for curriculum. They have budgets for books. So it's usually author, speaker, coach, or at the very least, author, speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you'll see coach, author. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you guys should know that. Y'all know that we are here on this podcast because I wanted to write my little book, mind my business, and just go. Surprisingly, I thought that I was going to write my book and go be quiet somewhere and just wait until y'all wanted to hear about the book. I was going to tell you about it. And then I was going to go back somewhere, just mind my business. Okay. So if you, that is why you are here. Living proof right here that the book became the brand, which is the business. I was under wise counsel that was just like, yeah, that's a great idea. No, you're not just writing a book. And I'm like, okay, Pasa, I'm not what? I definitely, I have it on my notes right here. I'm just writing a book.
No, man.
But out of that coaching, out of that leadership and tutelage, this is what you're getting. I'm not trying to sell you a book. I'm literally giving you interviews, giving you insight into all of these other people's lives for the free ball. It's free. It's for, I'm on here talking to y'all for free. Okay. We are podding it out and have been doing so. Hashtag, happy belated. We've been rocking it out for over a year because I decided that I was going to write a book. And by being in the right rooms with the right people, because everybody couldn't go, I had space in my life for the right people who could go. And now you guys are benefiting from those people that I had to let go, those new people that I now have space for, and those leaders and coaches who were able to tell me, no, you're not just writing and leaving. These are the things that you're going to do. And so that's part of that ripple effect that Mel was talking about, how you listening to me right now because I wanted to write a book, but that's all I wanted to do. And somebody around me, quality people around me, didn't allow me to just write my book and go.
That wouldn't have been enough anyway. And this is actually a good thing. The fact that the book is not enough. The book is, as you've likely heard, your big business card, like it's your billboard, which that's great. The beautiful thing about it is people are going to want more of you and more from you. That's a good thing. It means you're providing value. The difference with a book between a book and you is that they'll always have you as long as they have the copy of the book. Books help you scale because you can't always be there in person or even virtually, but your lessons are in the book. I know, right? But your lessons are in the book, and it allows you and that reader to bend time. They can learn the lessons you learned without taking the exact same amount of time to learn them. This is why reading is such a cheat code. There are all these people right here. You're talking to Jessica's point earlier, the 100+ years of experience. That's what you're getting when you read somebody's book. They may have taken 10 years to learn a lesson. You're reading it in a few days. What? Exponential return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, once you write your book, it is a whole other stream of revenue for you. Like Jessica had a message in her that became a movement. That's powerful. So yeah, you whatever that is in you, whether that's one singular message or a series of messages, like John Maxwell, his entire expertise is leadership. That is all that man writes books about, but he has dozens of books about it. You know what I mean? So it's a core message or a movement like Jess, where it's like, we doing workshops about this. I'm doing books about this. I'm doing journals that you can write in about this. I have clothing. You know what I'm saying? Hello. Flights over flights. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying?
Because what we fighting for when we could be worrying about how to take these flights and go explore the world, okay?
That part, you know what I mean? So there's a ton of opportunity around the book that's in you. That's just the start.
That's super dope. That's super dope. And y'all, it's my pie, and I'm on here still learning stuff. Because, you don't think too much about what you're doing or think too much of yourself. You're just doing what you're doing. But you never know who needs it. You never know how far your message is going to go, who it's going to get to. You just know that somebody need it. And how she said it may be one singular message, one singular thing. I had a thing to say. That's it. And I wasn't
And
about to say nothing else. I was going to say my one thing. I was going to dip. I was not worried about marketing. I wasn't worried about nothing. I was going to do my one thing, and I was about to dip out and go try to find my next flight, find my next party. And find the next bottle of wine, okay? That was, that is what I started out my mission to do. But when you are surrounded by people who push you, people who won't allow mediocrity, people that won't tolerate complacency, people that won't let you shortchange yourself, people that won't let you shortchange yourself, because then that would have inadvertently allowed me to be out here shortchanging y'all, and that was never my intent. This is why everybody can't go. This right here, this is literally why. Because if I was still messing around with the same people that I would have been looking for the next party with, that was always asking for the money out my pocket that I ain't never get back, and we was just worried about partying and drinking something somewhere, wilding out, and shoot, other stuff that I'm not gonna even get into that I didn't even know folks was doing. If that's what I was gonna continue surrounding my life with, I wouldn't have nothing to talk to y'all about. I wouldn't have never got dogged out for becoming better, for being better, for having tangible results in my life that are demonstrative or demonstrative of the changes that I made. It's not just me talking, y'all. This thing really does work. So if you feeling like if you feeling like you on the fence about it, don't be. Boss up and do it. I dare you.
Remember, she challenged y'all.
And did. And gonna
Hashtag
keep
challenge.
challenging y'all on the weekly, okay? On the weekly, I'm gonna keep challenging y'all. And why? Because I know that this thing works. I keep reminding y'all. Go scroll through my Instagram. It ain't private for a reason. I haven't taken no pics down or no videos down for a reason. Because I need you to see that I really am real, and you can go through chronologically what my life looks like. The book is not play, it's not pretend, it's not dramatized. That's real life.
Facts.
The results that I got from putting in that work, the people that I was accepted around because of who I let go, that's real life. And even up to date, half of the things that have got accomplished, they not even on the socials yet. But you can definitely see a change.
Facts.
Because it's not about boasting, it's not about bragging. It's literally about being able to get you guys in a mindset of being willing to take hold of what your transformation is going to look like, what it can look like, what do you want it to look like. We ain't worried about that because we still ain't found out who they is.
That.
And to make sure that that thing that you have in your head, that thing that you just, your burning desire, to make sure that I get you there. Or at at bare minimum, I'm gonna get you every tool, resource, thing that you could possibly need so that you can build it for yourself. I can't build it for you. I can take you right up to the edge of the water. And if I see you double dutching a little bit, I might even kick your ace over into the water. But we gonna make sure that it get done, okay? And so, Mel, thank you so much for coming on this evening. You guys go ahead and holler at them show notes below. You will find your links to the Spring Forward Writers Retreat. You will find your promo code for your 20% off. Shameless plug, you will find your links for merch for Everybody Can't Go and for Getting the Win show. Y'all always see me in my pod shirt, okay, in my uniform. What do I be wearing when I'm not wearing my uniform, when I'm not podcasting? Usually on a daily basis, it's some Getting the Win gear, okay?
Facts.
And that's
Facts.
on a daily, and it is literally a habit. All right, so you guys go ahead, check out those links in the show notes, and as always, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions for me, for Mel, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We read those, we get back to you, and if it's something that you feel like it's too private, you guys know that you can go ahead and just DM me, or I have a new feature available for you guys. You can actually call me. You can call me on this awesome new app called Owl. Go to the YouTube page and you will see a promo link and you will see a little video that talks a little bit about that app and how you can literally call me directly. It's really me. You can really call me anytime that you want. Anytime, 24 hours a day. Now, will I be awake 24 hours? Absolutely not. But you have that option.
Boundaries.
So, right. But hashtag boundaries, okay, guys? Y'all know this. And that's exactly why I said I'm available 24/7 because I know y'all not about to wild out and just be like, you know what? It's 4 a.m. I'm gonna call her. Okay? So thanks again for coming, Mel, and thank you guys for tuning in for another Everybody Can't Go Convo.
Peace, y'all.